Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Hypothetically Speaking with Kesha, and I'm your host, Kesha, and we definitely have our beautiful co-host here on the end, Miss
Donna.
Yes. So we wanted to bless you guys with two beautiful guests here today. We have Miss Lieutenant and we have Mr. John here, where we're going to talk about the current news and events today with racism and how it led to colorism in our society and how we're dealing with that. So I kind of want to open up the floor to how it all started with racism, and how it impacted us, now today. So you guys look like you're pretty young people. So from your educational background or your experience, what do you think when you think about racism? Or what did it look like back then?
Oh man, you want to go first?
I think racism has always been painted in a picture of like violence and painted in a picture of division. And I think historically, it's not only been showed that in the past, but it also seems to be showing its ugly head in the future and even in current states now. So.
For me, I grew up in a very pro-Black household. So I was very informed already about a lot of the kind of like disadvantages and basically the attack on us. And basically how racism and colorism specifically is used to divide us all and kind of create like basically it's a device, it's a tool to
like
shift a segregation type thing. You can't get everybody to work together if I'm hating on her because she's lighter and I'm hating on her because she's darker. So I've seen it plenty of times. Even in my own family, I'm like, gross. Gross. It's terrible. It's terrible.
So I know when I was growing up in school and we would watch like shows or movies that they would show us about what racism was like and what the slaves went through. And I remember seeing where they got kind of like exported out, shipped away, beaten, abused on boats, getting salt water poured on them being under the boat in like a really small space, packed on top of each other. I seen people being lynched in front of a big old crowd. This I didn't see personally in person, but on the movies and things like that. I saw families being torn apart and sold all over the world, taking kids, and they would like kind of like measure you and say, "Oh, you look like a good, nice built Black man. I want to purchase him for $20," and they'd send him to Pennsylvania and say, "Screw his family." I saw them being abused and beat, sodomized. It's just been a long journey. But what I will say, the takeaway from it was the slaves that were strong enough to not fight back with their hands or with a weapon, but with their minds. Right. They formed the plan, they executed the plan, and they made it to freedom. Some of them even bought their freedom so that they can, be free and be able to live a healthy life and have an opinion. And what I really like about it most is the Black people that fought for their rights to vote. That was a long journey in itself that led to us being able to have voting rights to this day. And the thing is, they went through so much for us to be free, for us to be able to work and have the same opportunities as the other race, that I don't really want to target or mention, but we know what that is. So the whole voting thing and how it's impacting us now, and the fact that a lot of people don't even utilize their opportunity to vote. And I used to be a big old advocate for voting, but then I kind of felt like it didn't matter. So I probably didn't vote for a term or two. Mm-hmm. But now that I'm seeing the impact of me not voting, and I'm sure a lot of other people that felt the same way when they kind of fell back from voting, we're starting to see the impact from us not utilizing our right to vote. Exactly. So for me personally, moving forward, I am going to start back voting. I see that they're trying to take away the voting rights where it's kind of limited to how you get to the poll to vote, or taking it away from certain states is what I learned. So we just got to kind of educate our kids and the next generation on what happened and how we got to the freedom that we have now. And because we're not exercising our rights the way we supposed to, like the ancestor fought for, we're kind of going into a direction of they went through all of this for what? For what?
For what? And I hate for it to be pointless, for us to be lulled back to sleep and to feel. I think that's what happened. We felt a little bit too safe to give us a Black president. They're like, here you go. It's not that bad. Yada, yada, yada. Get a couple of wins, a couple of that symbolic wins, right, but not real wins for the people. and then everybody gets triggered real bad, and then they say, "Hey, let's pick the worst person ever to come back because we were so mad at how poised and how just basically everything that the family represented in the house to be everything that they don't want you to be. It fuck them up. It fuck them up, and so they lash out. And now we got rights being rolled back for voting in the southern states. We got our people randomly being found in positions that they shouldn't be in, and just overall, just disenfranchisement being put back on us.
I agree.
What's your thoughts on all of this, John?
So I'm one thing I'm noticing is like a habit or something that's continually to happen is like the killings of Black people. So I've noticed that in the past, Black people were killed almost as if like for a sport. And it's been used as a tool to keep us from trying to move past or do better or even fight for our rights. Because it's a way to kind of keep us scared and fearful. Because if you do try to think differently, think outside of the box, and try to uplift your people, they end up killing our leaders. You know, so I think it's important for us to not necessarily look for a leader as one individual, but find the leaders in ourselves as a whole, as people. So we got to have a nationalistic mindset. You know, all of us need to kind of have a nationalistic mindset, because then that'll be the bigger picture of what we'll be fighting for. Instead of just for one person, it'll be for all of us. Like if you attack one of us, you attack all of us. We absolutely got to get back to that Malcolm X mindset. For sure, absolutely.
Sure. Donna, you have anything you want to add to this?
When you said it was violence and division, I was like, I should add stupidity and entitlement to it.
Yeah.
That's true. And it's just like just being America's scapegoat. Just end of story. Like no matter how, like it wouldn't matter. I really think it boils down to just you're stupid. What does one have to do with the other?
Yeah.
And it's literally things that we can't control. Like I had zero control out of like how tall I was, what ethnicity. I was like, I'm here. Like it's just stupid. And I think like I'll say it later. No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really sad what's going on. I feel like everybody should understand that your vote matters. Let's start there and start utilizing our rights. The Black on Black crime have to stop. Understand that while we are fighting with each other and tearing each other down, we have a group of people that's already targeting us. So we have to stick together and be there for each other and support each other, advocate for each other. It was a whole plan that started years ago where they already had the advantage over us. They didn't want us to learn how to read. We conquered that. You know, a lot of things that they didn't think we would be able to do, we conquered that. So if we can do it once, we can do it twice and again and again and again. So if we are able to support each other in a better way, stop the Black on Black crime, support each other, uplift each other. And another thing that's really important, the certain group of people, they teach their kids generation after generation to stay in school, be politicians, be judges, be prosecutors, be lawyers and all of that. And then when we go in front of the system, you know, they throwing us with bricks with hard time. And I feel like if our culture was to start, or our race start to encourage our kids to stay in school, keep your asses in them seats, where we can have an opinion and we can have some type of power, take our power back. Because if I have a small kid and I'm not encouraging my kids to go to school and pushing them towards college and talking to them about, you know, what power looks like and being in them seats where you have an opinion and you have a say so, if we don't do that, we're going to just let those other people do it, and then we get upset about the outcome. Right. But if we put our kids in those seats, we take some of our power back. You know, I feel like we've been being distracted with the music. We've been being distracted with a lot of different things that does not matter. And I feel like it was a whole plan and attack against us because they knew we wasn't used to having money and having all this good stuff. So it's like, okay, they want to be rappers. Let me give them all this stuff so it can distract them from all this stuff that we doing up here at the top. So while we running around flashing our chains and rapping about things that don't matter, and the girls is making it clap everywhere, while we focused on that, them other people is focused on something else to stay in control of us. So we really have to snap out of the BS that we've been doing. We had fun doing it. It's time to cut it out and get serious, because right now in 2026, I'm sure everybody is seeing and hearing about the things that's going on in the world. And it's not a joke, and it's not a game, and it's serious. It's really happening. And don't take it lightly, don't take it lightly because it's not you. At any given time, it can be you, your brother, your cousin, your kids. I'm telling you, it's really real and it's really happening. So some of the things that I've been seeing is like, I'm not sure what the people name is, so I don't want to put their names on there, but I saw a black girl. They found her hung in a tree. I think this was in Florida somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. She was trying to celebrate Juneteenth. And they talk about no foul play suspected.
Yeah.
I'm going down to celebrate my blackness. I'm pretty sure I'm in a good mood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
In Florida, I have ancestry from Florida. Enslaved into the 1900s.
Really?
Yes. So I thoroughly believe that there's people down there that still are on CBS and everywhere. It's
Yeah. It was the other black boy that hung out with some white boys, and he had a knife, and I think the white boys were trying to jump him or something, and he defended himself. He got hit with a lot of time just for protecting himself. I think it was another black kid hanging out on a boat with some white kids, and now he's been found dead, and nobody have any answers. But it's like, let the shoe be on the other foot. Oh, you going to prison immediately.
you can let the white boy come down.
You do something to one of these white boys, you are getting in trouble. But when it's a black on black crime type of thing, they not immediate response, because that's less work they have to do to us. Let them kill each other off and take each other out. That's less work that the people, have to worry about doing. So that's the reason why we have to tap into what's going on, because it can affect you, your children, and the future generations. We don't want what our ancestors fought for however long they fought. I don't know if it was 400 years, however many years they fought for, to be a waste of time. Just a whole waste of time. Yeah.
One thing I noticed with as far as like voting is the roles of the two parties, the Democratic and the Republican Party, do not have black people in the forefront of their minds, or do not want the rights of black people taken care of. They do not have the goals of taking care of black people. So I think that almost it should be a political system to ourselves. I believe there should be another black political party for black representation, because as you say, we don't hold many seats in these political offices. So if we can make our own political party, we will hold all of our own seats, and we'll have some type of pushback or some type of opposition.
So the thing is, us as people of color, we got to really start to put the action behind it. Start coming together, talking about what we can do, and not just talk about it, put the action behind it, so we can actually see some change. I'm a little bit worried. I'm getting a little bit scared about the next future generations if people don't wake up, start really being more productive with what's going on. I feel like, our race, they counted us out a long time ago. And the fact to see that the things that we can do, we're probably smarter than them, because like I said, they didn't even want us to know how to read, and we figured that out. They said we would never have a black president, and we had that. And that president that we had was amazing, very well spoken, him and his whole family. So it's not just him. It's a whole lot of black families, man and wife, or just even if it's just a woman and her children, or a man and his children, that's smart and educated and can still pursue their goals. So don't think that, it's just a few. No. It's a lot of us that have something to bring to the table. And I feel like we just really need to do it. Don't be afraid to do it. And it's going to probably get a little bit ugly, but if we fight here the way we supposed to, even though they're going to give us some pushback, the people going to give us some pushback, but in that fight, there are going to be some people that might lose their life, behind it, because those certain color of people just don't want us to have a voice and start executing things and want to have let the change happen that we need to see happen. So I see a lot of times like situations with officers, they feel like, oh, just because they're an officer, they got the right to treat you bad. And what bothered me for a long time is when those other officers that's not our race is, abusing us however they will, whether it's words or physically, their brother that's an officer because their brother's in blue, but you are black. How do you feel watching your brother that's a white man? He your brother because y'all wear blue. But how do you feel as a black man watching this man beat on a black kid or beat on a black woman, mistreat them? The whole thing about being a police officer is to protect and serve. Right. And you're supposed to be doing community policing, which means engaging with the community and building a good relationship and a rapport with the community, not making them afraid of you. And it's getting to the point where we walking around in fear now. Mm-hmm. So like when you see a cop, you just got to walk a straight line. You yes, sir, this, that. You scared. You don't know what they're going to do. And that's not cool.
It's not cool. I even find myself recently, I'm a bit of an anxious driver. And sometimes I didn't even used to be scared. I think it's literally just all the stuff going on right now, where I'll see a cop car and like he'll have somebody pulled over, and I'm still just like, oh, okay, yeah, are we cool? Yeah. Are we cool? I remember. Speaking of mental health and police violence, right? Back when I think this was shortly after Tamir Rice had got murdered, and we had just moved back up here. There was a lot of gun violence in the neighborhood that my parents moved into. And I was super duper 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 anxious anytime they left the house by themselves and were driving. My mom, like, she needed to update her license or something silly, and my dad, big black man, so I was like just horrified, essentially, just an extra layer of anxiety that white children don't have about my mom going down the street to the grocery store. That's kind of insane that I'm worried about that at 13. Aww. Like, oh, is my mom gonna make it back to the house? Sad. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting
I think a lot of fears and a lot of traumas that we have that are kind of like sparked as like childish fears or just kind of kids overthinking. I believe it's like generational traumas. Yeah. What they call it, it's like some type
epigenetics.
Of epigenetics, absolutely. So epigenetics is just like a process where trauma from your elders transmutes into trauma into you later. So you'll have this underlying fear where you almost won't even really understand where it's coming from, but it is still there. So having fear of being policed, having fear of dying by the police, even though you have no direct experience with police brutality, the fact that it has happened either to your elders or to anybody of our color.
But let's pause right there, because I like when you said like the effects that it have on us because of what the ancestors went through. Some people don't believe in that. Some people be like, well, it wasn't me, that was a long time ago, then it wasn't my people, it didn't affect me. It does affect you. It's affecting you right now. And if they didn't put in the hard work that they did back then, we wouldn't be able to be walking around having the freedom that we have right now.
They'd be sitting right here.
And another thing that when it comes to the police brutality, like we have to teach our kids like how to respond if you come in contact with the police. I have my degree in criminal justice, so class 101, you're supposed to build a relationship with the community and just protect and serve, like I said earlier. That's not happening at all.
They're literally walking around just fear mongering.
Yeah, and it's almost like a bully type of thing. Bully type and you have to teach your kids like, oh, when you outside, don't have a hood on. Like they make sweaters with hoods on so you can put them on if you want. You bought it, it's yours. If you want to put it on, but you can't walk around with your hood on, or they're gonna pull up on you and blow down on you. Oh, if they say this and sit like this and act like this and walk like this and talk like, you got to do all these different things. But in the white household, they're not teaching their kids that. They don't have to go through this whole spiel on how to interact with the police. Another thing, like with these crimes, with these young kids being killed by their peers and stuff for the other color, it's crazy because when you have a situation like that going on, it's starting to feel like the kids that's committing the crimes against our race, they already kind of know that I'm gonna get away with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they're getting bold with it, and you starting to see it happen way more than usual. It's almost like, I don't want to say normal because it's not normal, but it's happening on a regular basis.
Right.
The rate
Being
is
normalized.
high. I remember last year, the first year of the presidency, when he came back, it was like probably every 4 months, every 3 months, where I would randomly see a news article about a black man, trucker, a boater, somebody just traveling in between towns, you know, just found somewhere in the trees. And I'm like, and so for this year, we were in June, and all these black folk that's outside doing stuff, that's happy, just randomly being found. They're not even going in to investigate it. There's no cameras. Don't nobody know what's going on. It's just weird. It's really weird. It's even weirder when I get around, and because they don't televise it or talk about it, I'll get around other black folks and they'll be like, "What are you talking about? What happened? What?" And I'm worried because we are not talking to each other about it, that it's going to keep happening because nobody's on guard. Yeah. And it's not to be, oh, I hate this group of people, you're all bad, but pattern recognition. Mm-hmm. If I see that my people are randomly being, you know, assaulted, and can I say the L word? Being lynched, essentially, whether it be gun, by rope, or anything, to not educate my people or the people around me to be like, hey, if you're in a group setting, be careful. If you're by yourself and you don't, like, nobody knows where you're at, you need to have your location on, your mom, your cousin, your best friend, your boy. Somebody needs to know where you're at, because they're getting bold. Like you said, matter of fact, the poor boy, rest in peace, the one that was found in the lake off that island, one of the friends' mom is a judge. Mm. And I'm like, oh my God, it pissed me off real bad when I found that out. And it's stuff like that. Like you were saying, we got to get our children to know, like, hey, you're capable. You can be put in these positions. You can go to school and help each other out. Even if you don't go to school, we just got to be awake enough to know what's going on. We are being attacked and we're kind of dormant about it. It's really scary. It's really scary.
Yeah, so one thing I noticed is that even if we do start to fill the political areas or get into the physical offices, I believe that we could still potentially be met with discrimination, met with racial violence. Absolutely. Because there's a brother in office, what's his name? Justin
Jones.
Justin
down
Pearson.
In Tennessee. Justin Pearson is two Justins.
Two Justins, right.
Justin Jones, Justin Pearson, both young black brothers, yeah.
Both of them absolutely are young black brothers, and they both are fighting for black rights, fighting for black representation, and fighting for,
Sound like they need our support.
Right, absolutely, they need our support.
I was literally like...
For sure, but one thing that I'm not really noticing is a lot of black political representation in Cleveland or in Ohio specifically. Yeah. I think it is a palm run state, for sure.
I think soon what I want to start working towards is getting out in the communities, talking more to our youth about what's going on, talking to them about the black on black crime, and how we have so much against us already. The last thing we need to be doing is fighting each other. You know, we killing each other over a little bit of nothing. And we haven't, I'm about to say something that's taking me to something else, but we having our families mourning and you don't even care. Like, even though that's not your blood, that's still your brother.
The selfishness that has been imposed on us through the culture of America. We are not individualistic. Where we from? We are very, you, her, down the street, your baby needs to get watched, you need help doing this, we're supposed to do it. Yeah. Here they have taught us, especially I think like during the 50s, 40s, 60s, during the nuclear family era, that basically you're by yourself. You don't care about what else is happening to everybody else. It's not really your problem. If it's not hitting my mom, my brother, my sister, my cousin, I don't really care. Every time I see one of them people on the news, or if I can even say news because it's not there, but just televised about it, I grieve, because that's my sister, that's my brother, that could be any of us. And even if it couldn't be, the fact that somebody lost their life possibly for being black is enough for me. I cannot separate myself from that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even be knowing these people, but when I'm looking at the parents cry and weep about their kid, I got my phone and I'm sitting up here crying too. Yeah. And I don't even know them, but just the fact that knowing that happened, you know, I'm a human person. It could be somebody who I know, one of my family members, but, you know, it just definitely hits home. But I just don't understand, like, when it comes to the other color, you human just like I'm human. Why don't you have feelings?
Why don't the lack of empathy? I think is the scariest thing. You can. We were just talking about this morning about how we did certain projects in high school about racial topics. I chose lynching as my topic, and in the picture that I had as the what is that? I guess the header for the presentation. It is the bottom of the black man's feet and all the white people down there, and you can kind of just see the dare I say, lack of soul inside of the eyes, and just even in other pictures, I've seen little girls, little white girls, little white boys, just by the body, and it's in the culture to be desensitized because that's what you think. It's funny. Oh my gosh! Remember when we have a friend? She's biracial, half black, half white. She likes to go to garage sales. She lives kind of closer to the west side. She says often she runs into what is that memorabilia of the blackface art, essentially, with the big lips and the real dark skin. And she's like, why are you guys selling this stuff? Why aren't you throwing it away?
Right.
And this is a few weeks ago, y'all. Like this, it's not, people be acting like it's far. These people down the streets across town have this stuff in their basement because it was Meemaws or Papa's, and you're selling it. But you're so desensitized, which is why you can get on here and see a black child then pass or a black mother then pass, and you immediately, what were they drinking? Right. What were they doing? Instead of, why was this person abandoned by their friends? Why was this person not looked out for? It's immediately, oh, that's not a person. Victim. I'm victim blaming. Like, it's insane. The lack of empathy is ridiculous.
When I said the word families mourning from the loss of a loved one, it took me back to a conversation I had with somebody recently. And naturally, I've been saying, I text somebody and say, normally I say good morning, but like maybe the last month or so, I just been wanting to say great morning, great day, great evening, great afternoon. And somebody recently was like, I heard that back in the day, something about the morning. The reason we shouldn't be saying it is because the other racists was saying that y'all gonna be mourning somebody's death. So we still carrying on certain things from there. So if that is true, I'm so glad that I already started saying great morning and great day. Well, that's still the same thing because I'm still saying morning. So now I need to take that part out. Grand rising or something, I guess. But I don't know. I guess I never liked it, grand rising. I don't know why, because somebody used to say it all the time. Grand rising. It's I think they just did it so much. I'm like, but I'm going to have to find something else to greet, morning, afternoon, evening. But that whole morning thing, I've been stuck on that ever since I've heard that.
And it's so embedded in our culture to.
Did y'all ever hear that?
This is my first time hearing
I've heard that, but that's why I say happy day, or I just say hi. Literally.
Great morning, because somebody is going to die today, so it's going to be a great morning for the other.
The only reason why I stopped saying good morning is sometimes, like, I've dealt with people who had people close to them pass away, and I've learned not to just put that because they might not be having a good morning. So that's where that came from. And then when you're at work and you spend more time at work and around those people, so you hear different things too. Happy day, hi, the end.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Right. Or hi.
I think the English language is specifically used for division and to speak negativity, I feel like, because there's so many double entendres or double meanings for words. Just like we say the word morning, it can mean death, and it could also mean the time of day, but words absolutely have power, I believe. So, when you learn the English language, you understand that it is so, I say, divisive. It forces you to want to speak positively, speak different, and it forces you to want to use different words to express yourself, because it could be a unknowing kind of negative spell you could be putting on yourself or those around you.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system.
Damn, Dawson.